Yes. No more thanks. No more, no more anymore. Less more. 3 more thanks. Yes. Yes. 和田先生、お披露お願いします。大丈夫。いや、大技、ありがとう。大技、小技、小技、大技。ありがとうございます。そうです。すごいです。それだけ言えないです。言いたいですけど。言うとすごいあれになります。
牧汁なんか使いかけのありませんでしたっけ？牧汁の使いかけ。
あります。メルシー僕、ヘルシー僕、ヘルシー、ウェルシー、ヘルシー。あ、ベネットさん、ベティさん。Thank you so much. インディアンさん。Thank you so much. Thank you, welcome. ウェルシー、ヘルシー、メルシー、僕。just wait. はい。牧汁の。Sorry for keeping you on wait. Very good. Bryson, Mercy. Good to see you. What about kind of a disaster of nothing, nothing at all. Mercy. So I would like to just mention about what the Jinen Roshi teachers. Today's text, the text is number 38. The truth of the emptiness. The truth of emptiness. This is one of the most important aspects matter as far as we just want to realize who we are. This is a very important thing. So I would like to ask you to understand what the true self or what the truth of emptiness, even in concept. Otherwise, it's very difficult to do, doesn't it? So once you be able to just understand what the truth of the emptiness, in another word, what true self is, what true self, what's the true truth of emptiness is, what truth of ourselves. So once you'll be able to just understand what truth of the emptiness, you'll be able to just continually, constantly, you'll be able to just sit until you just realize, until you just realize who you are. See? That's much the different, the important aspect. She just so, as I always just mention about what the body came to China from India. The emperor just okay. Oh, come on. Nothing happened. Ito sensei, Shuhei sensei. Oh, come again. Oh, good, bad, good or bad. Okay, nothing. Nothing good, nothing bad. Doesn't mean anything. Okay. So when Bodhidharma just arrived in China, emperor just invited him to the palace, and the emperor just asked him what true self means, what true self is. Then Bodhidharma asked the answer. I never be able to be aware of who I am. I never be able to be aware of what I'm doing right now. Even I never be able to be aware of where I am. This is true ourselves. This is the truth of the empty. This is the truth of emptiness. Okay. These things, the most important things, these things we have to realize within our life, Only one chance, only one chance. See? Although it's very easy to say, but it's very difficult. The hardest, this is the hardest the matter for us to do. Hardest one. But the thing is when I clap my hand, then it just becomes this sound without doing anything. This is the truth of the emptiness. This is the truth of the emptiness. So you have been just doing, or you have been just acting this way. Not not any other things, but all you just act this way. So you don't need to worry about that things. It takes you for such a long time to realize what it is, but never give up, never give up. See, because you've already become a person. You've already become a person, so you don't need to worry about. But even I just say you've already become the person. That's person. You cannot, if you cannot accept what I say, it's no use. It's no use. So that you just practice zazen until you completely accept what I say. Right. This is a practice. This practice I would like you to do. Okay. So what the Jinen Roshi mentioned, the teaching us with number 8, the truth of emptiness. Truth, as I said, the truth of emptiness is what is true ourselves, what true ourselves is. So what he said, what he teach us is experiencing existence will be lost in it. Following emptiness, you are always behind it. See? Sounds it's complicated. Sounds it's very complicated. But see, what it says is, see, you never be deceived by your thinking, your thought. That's it. You see? See, although you say this is truth, see, this is a truth, this is a truth, this is a reality, this is a, but that is not truth. That is not reality at all. You see, you just admit, or you just recognize this is truth, this is dead, this is this. In your conscience or in your thinking or soul. As far as thinking or soul, that is not true at all. Because, as I always just mentioned about what thinking or soul is, once you recognize this, then what happens is then the things being recognized and the person who just recognized, see, will be completely divided. See, before recognize this, before you recognize this, no separation at all. No separation at all between this and that. See, this is the truth. This is true. Then you just recognize this, then separation. Division just happened. That is not true. The truth is no separation, no division. See, never be deceived by your thinking and thinking. So it said, experiencing existence will be lost in it. Following emptiness, you are always behind it. What as I just mentioned about thinking or thought, that's it. You are just deceived. You are completely fooled by thinking or thought. You see, that's imagination or creation of a thinking or thought. Truth, truth never say anything about truth. Never say anything about truth. You say this is the truth. This is this. You said so. You say this is truth by your or you are thinking of thoughts. That is not the truth. That's it. When you just face death, this is the truth. This is the truth. You completely become death without doing anything. You just become death. No separation at all. Then you just recognize, oh, this is the truth. This is this. This is not a truth. There's a completely separation between face and face. This is not a truth. Never be deceived by thinking or so. So the more you try to slowly, the more there is. So you just so that this is not a truth. Okay, so you just try to throw this thinking away as it is. This is all right, but you just deny that this is not the truth. This is still within the thinking. See, the more you try to throw away, the more there is. See? This is the thinking. The thinking all the act, thinking always act this way. You see, if you try to throw away, the things is just come out more. See, if you just try to thinking away, if you try to thinking away, so the more thinking just come out. You see, so just simply, just don't touch it. See, don't touch it. See? Try to do. If you try to do something, the more the things come out. See? So simply, let's go. Then as the see, don't touch cotton. Don't touch it. The more you try to throw away, the more really, the more you try to use the procedure of discarding, the more really. You try to throw away the thinking of a soul, so that the thinking, the more thinking of soul to come out. You see, you have been just experiencing quite a lot. See, if you just intend to do, so that as long as you just intended to do, the things just come out more. So simply just throw away as there. This is enough. Or never intended to do. See, this is the key point. This is a key point. You may say, never touch. You see, just release. Then as this is a key point. See, never try to do. Or never intend to do. As long as you just try to do, the things never disappear. The things just come out, never disappear. Only way the things that's coming out without reason. If you just simply just throw them away, then disappear. So the master always says, you never carry yourself to do, or you never just set up to yourself in order to do something, anything. See, you never just the intent to do something. You never do it. See, simply throw them away as there. This is a key point when you just do something. The more that you think, the more thinking or thought come out in your mind. Simply let's go then over the this is totally enough. Never try to intend to do, or never try to do anything. Simply throw them away as they. This is the. Then you'll be able to encounter yourself, true self. The more you try to use the procedure of discarding, the more there is. As long as you try to do, the things come out more. They simply throw them away as they. That is enough. The things that are just thinking or thoughts that coming up in your mind completely disappear without doing anything. Because as I just always just mentioned about thinking as thought, what thinking as thought is entirely different from what you are thinking or thought. Thinking or thought is just come, thinking or thought just come out without any reason. Without any reason. What are people thinking about the thinking or thought? A kind of substance, named the human or the I or we. Then thinking and other thoughts just come on. This is not a truth. This is not true. Without substance, substance is without the self. Without the self, the thinking or thought just simply come up. And this is a truth. See, but you never be able to just understand what I say, even in a concept. So simply just throw away the thinking or thought as they are. Then gradually, in a sense, gradually you'll be able to you'll be able to understand what thinking or thought is. You don't know much about thinking or thought. So you always try to do something by thinking or with thinking or so. That's a completely useless kind of invention. So thinking or thought is something like that. So that's a simple truth and reality. This is a key point. The more you just, the more you can do, the more you can just throw them away as the more you just become the more you just become what you are faced to. This is the truth. The more you become what you face to right now, right here. You see? Then eventually, there is no separation between this and this. What you just think about the self completely disappear, completely disappear. So that some of the patriarchs just mentioned non-self. Non-self is universe. Non-self is universe. That's the reason the Master Dogen said, see, if you just try to seek for the way is what's the true ourselves is. You find it to be, complete and universal. The same non-self is a universe. Non-self is the complete and universal. That is our true self. That is our true self. That's entirely different from what we are thinking about the self. Completely different. Completely different. That's the reason we have to do. That's the reason we have to do them. Otherwise, see what people just think about, oh, this is that thing. Defend it. It's useless. It's a totally waste. Totally waste. So even you can just live in the complete and universal. But I don't know what people thinking about it. It's a kind of person who have a lot of trouble, crazy, so in this, that's entirely different. That's a totally misunderstanding. So, but if you try to become empty, you disobey the emptiness much more, and it is not the true emptiness. But this is still within the thinking. This is still within the thinking. So, if you try to become empty or empty, the same thing. Try to do, intend to do. So as long as you do, you try to do or intend to do, you just recognize. You just recognize what we call the self. What we call the self. Still the selves remain. Still the selves exist. See, because within thinking. As I just mentioned about before, see, what's the why we think about the self just come out is just a creation. What we thinking about the self is a creation of a thinking or a thought. That is another thing. That's a creation or imagination of a thinking or a thought. That is another truth. That is another truth. So as long as you just care much about the thinking or thought, see, you always recognize what you just thinking about the self. Never disappear. He said, never disappear. That's what the thing is, creation, imagination. That's a delusion. What you're thinking about the self is delusion. The creation of the thinking or thought. See, that is another truth. So simple is just. The simple is just. So you just let go the thinking or thought of as there. Then the things that is thinking or thought just recognize. Completely disappeared. See? Then this one, what you just think about the self, this part, this whole body, what you think about the self is also disappeared. Nothing left at all. Nothing left at all. But also nothing left but this moment, or right now and right here is just exist. You see, without anything, without anything. Right now, right now. See, a person who just listen to, a person who just talk to, never exists. Never exists. Right now, right here. Will be understandable, even a concept. This is the truth of emptiness. This is the truth of emptiness. This is the truth of ourselves. What we think about the self. But if you try to become empty, you disobey the emptiness much more, and it is not a true emptiness. This is the emptiness as a concept, conceptual deal or idea. See, that's still imagination of the thinking or soul. Or you may say delusion or illusion. That's it. See, that is not a truth. Here, right here, right now. No one exists. Nothing exists. Oh. So this experience we have to experience. We have to experience. Otherwise, you're always confused. You're always confused with your thinking or thoughts. You're always deceived by thinking or thought. You see, because you don't know much of this truth of the emptiness. You don't know much about this. This causes you trouble. This causes you question. That's it. The true state of emptiness is dependent on origination. Dependent origination. See, it's very simple. When I just face, I just become what I face. This is a dependent origination. Only this exists. Only this exists. This is truth of this is truth of the universe. This is truth of the universe. What we just thinking about, the universe is something like the universe. That's entirely different. That's the only creation of thinking or thought. Creation, imagination of thinking or thought. Truth. The truth is this. See, without doing anything, I just face, I just become death. This is the truth of the universe. The true state of emptiness is the dependent origination, because it's dependent origination, which means that no matter how far it's gone, it is formed on the relation of cause and effect. See, when I say the cause, that is a relation of the cause and effect. See, so what people just thinking about it? There's a relation of the cause and effect. Everything is just happening, but that is still misunderstanding. See, even the cause and the effect never exists. You see, never exists. See, then when I just face this, then become this, and then recognize this, and then recognize this, then cause and effect just happen later. Before I just faced it, no cause and effect at all. Simply as it is. Simply as it is. See, then you just recognize this. Then separation just happens between this and that. Then cause and effect just happen later. Before the cause, no cause and effect, no relation of the cause and effect at all. Simple as it is. Simple as it is. That's the truth of the emptiness. That is the truth. This is the truth of the universe. That this is the truth of ourselves. Okay, the true state of emptiness. Something. Okay, it's remained in order and unbroken, and takes any and all activity. This is a so marvelous, wondrous matter. Even what what any kind of situation, circumstance just happen. Still, you just face such a circumstance or condition, but your truth never be broken. Never be broken. I see. By any circumstance, any condition, never be broken. And that's much huge because your truth is universal itself, never broken. See, what's thinking about the self? What's thinking about ourselves is broken. That is not true. That's what you're thinking about. That's what you're thinking about the selves created by thinking or thought. Our truth is not much tiny thing. It's non-self. Non-self is the universe. Non-self is the universe. See, that's much huge. That's much, see, uncountable, unlimited, see, existence. And that is our true self. See? So once you just realize this, you never have any trouble. You just completely satisfied with what with any circumstance, any condition, any state, because universal itself. This kind of confidence, you'll be able to attain, or you'll be able to obtain. See, this is Zazen. This is Zazen. This is what the Shakyamuni Buddha just realized. This is a tremendous, huge one. See? Marvelous. Okay, so the last one, what the Jinen Roshi is teaching is, there is a Dharma which is obtained, and the person who obtained. You see, this is a very, we have to be very careful. See, if you just do something, you'll be able to just know, oh, what is it to ourselves? This kind of thing. just happen. But that is still within a concept. Never be deceived. There is a Dharma, and then there is a person who recognizes Dharma, who just know much about what Dharma is, but there is this is a complete separation between Dharma and the person who just realize or recognize what Dharma is. There is a complete separation. Never be deceived. As long as you just know or understand what Dharma is, what true self is, still within thinking, no use at all. See? So this is truly a great disease. We call it Zen disease. this kind is very hard to cure, but never be deceived. See, it is a single moment. This one. It is a single moment in time. You see, when you face this, you just completely become what you face to, without any intervention, intervention by what we call the self. See, no intervention. What we call the self. See, this realization, this liberalization, if you just experience, that is complete. That is enough. So never be deceived. So even you just regard, oh, this is the truth. This is the truth. But there's still separation between the person who just realized and the Dharma, which is recognized completely a certain separation between this and this. You see, this is a very we have to be very careful, very careful. But the thing is, whatever just thinking also just come out in your mind, simply through the way as this practice, this doesn't. If you can do continually, constantly, then you have encounter to yourself without any trouble, without this kind of misunderstanding. See, that is simply I would like to recommend you. This doesn't. See, whatever just thinking of the thought just come out in your mind. This is thinking of thought never be true. Never be true. So the simply through the memory as that is totally enough. Then thinking also, thinking so never be disappeared. But when you just come out, you just when you just when the thinking or the thoughts come up in your mind, you try to figure out what it is. You just deal with what it is. This thing is cause you trouble. So simply through the knowing. So you're not gonna have any trouble at all, any question at all. You simply just become as it is. This doesn't I would like you to do. Maybe this is enough. Maybe. Okay. So maybe, maybe more, maybe. So if you have any question, so that's simply just send the email, or you simply just call me by Zoom or something. What it is, whatever you just wanna. So as I always mention, thinking or thought is very sensitive. So that's what she just asks, very sensitively, so that people easy to be deceived, fooled, so that you have to check whether this is okay or not. Otherwise, you even you don't you not be able to be aware of your deceived. You are deceived by thinking or something. That's the reason. You see, whatever you have a question or the doubt, just asking. See, this is the good way of the practice. Good way of the practice. You just check it and then do zazen and check zazen. Then your idea, that real zazen, just be focused. Then you'll be able to attain. You'll be able to realize who you are. This practice, I would like to ask you to do. Right? Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup, muchas gracias. Okay.